Let's see there. Yeah. There we go. Okay, Val, just check to see whether you can still hear us, see us, give us a thumbs up. Yeah, okay, there's Dennis right now. Can you hear as well too? Malin, you're back. Good. Thanks for all your patience here. We had a bit of a computer problem. If it bombs out again, please be patient. We'll be back. There you are. Can hear you as well. Okay. Okay, so I think, all right, let's carry on where we left off. Let's go back to our screen. Right, we were busy in this particular area here. So let's smooth all this lot out. Up into here, against there. It doesn't matter if you go over that bit here. You don't want a halo. I've got my lines. Don't use pencil on here. Otherwise, it's going to give you all the pencil lines, because the pastel doesn't take over the graphite. And it'll give you all the shiny lines. Top end here is, this here is going to be darker, so we're going to really fuse that in the shadow. Come back. You can also add some lighter color in there, but at the moment I just want to block in and get the basic tonal ranges of what's happening on here. So here's a little bit. Okay, so let's add a bit of the same color, but a little bit less in here. Get it a bit lighter into here. And this area I'm going to make a much lighter here, so we get the different tonal ranges to make up our picture. So let's add some more of this in here. And going out, let's go out the picture. And doesn't matter if you go over this a little bit here. And let's work that in that way. Picking up some of the texture of the board that's underneath the paper, but that doesn't matter. Just get that in. Yeah, let's work that one in. Then fade it out down to the bottom, so we need to fade some of that out as well. So let's put a little bit down here. And there's a little bit in this area. Notice I'm using, when I'm doing this, I'm doing it in a circular motion. Just blend that in a little bit. We've still got our marks. With this lighter stuff inside there, the whites, we don't actually battle against that. So let's put that in. Now I'm going to put a little touch of blue into this area. And let's bring some of that blue-green in. This is our underpainting. we pretend there's a little piece of sky open up the top here, which is reflecting some of the blue. And put a little touch into that. And I put a little touch of purple into here to darken this a little bit. Not too much, just enough to give you that dark shadow here underneath there. And let's work that in until we get that nice dark green. A good contrast therefore under the showing when we have the spray of the wave. So let's get that in. These ones will also be a little bit darker, so let's take a bit of the purple into them. Really dark, right underneath the shadow of this. And let's work that. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of white just to show you that as long as you can see there, it's not over complete dark. You can see you get the white coming in there. So, and what I'm going to do, let's fill this in. Get the background. Let's see, a little touch over the top here. In between, got some going over the top. This is a soft pastel that I'm using. I'm not putting the spray in yet, I'm just getting the basic. I'm not going too far up. And then we have some lovely spray coming out here. Take that, stroke that out that way, give you that movement. Oops, there goes my... Okay, there we go. Hold the chalk properly. And that goes up into here. And then we have this other spray in this corner. Some of it sort of coming out in this area. And okay, let's add some of these in because we're going to tone some of them down in the shade, but let's pick them out. If you've lost some of the lines, it doesn't matter, as long as you got them in more or less. Okay, now I'm going to work this in. When we'll put the shadows in later on. But we just want to get the shapes of everything. Once we've got the basic shapes done, then the rest becomes much easier. So put that in. Everybody happy so far? Who's actually painting? Who's actually painting along with me? That should be interesting to see. Let me know who's actually painting along. Sorry, who?
Well and Mylan.
Oh, okay, that's good. At least somebody's painting along, and that's the main thing. And there we start. You can see this is starting to build up at the moment. Okay, now in here I want to put also a very slight touch of a little bit of a darker blue. And this one is, let's see, I'm not sure what color this is. It looks like almost yellow blue, something similar to that. And let's work that in. And also give some nice, we can add some of the surf into that color, shows up nice. Bring it right up into the edge there. Bring some of it over the rest. Okay, I'm going to add a darker color underneath this one here, but I'm not going to make it too dark. I'm going to put it at this particular stage. I'm going to put a dark brown, and then we can work a darker later on. Let's get that in. So this here is going to have eventually have a nice sharp edge around it. Right, now we come to an area now where it's too small for the fingers to go in. Here we're going to have a little bit of the board sort of disappearing there in underneath the waves. So what we need to do is take a what's it called, a Q-tip? In South Africa we call it an earbud, and of course that was long before these little small earphones came out. They called it earbud, and of course now when I first calling it an earbud, I was using one of these earphones to do all this nice. So you can get in there and sharpen that one up. Later on, we're going to use it also into that particular area. Right, I've got some of this dark in here. What I can do is just put some of this in. You've got some of this reflection coming in here as well. So let's take some of that off there and gently put it in. You can also use a darker pencil if you want to. Put a few little pencils in. At the moment, I'm just showing you another way which you can get all these nice colors inside here. These reflections are going to be quite dark as what that's going to be because of the reflection from above is still brightening it up a little bit. So we get little pieces inside here. And then we also have part of this coming in here too. Also take that and add some of this in here. You don't have to smooth it all out because the water is moving. You've got all these little ripples. All we want is those nice tonal ranges coming inside there. Okay, so we start building that one up. Okay, now I'm going to put a few little marks at the top there, and I'm going to see if I've got a nice little grey stick, and just put a few little marks in. You get some of these waves, and then smooth it out. Don't make any no sharpness at all. Just to give you some of the waves. It's fairly smooth. It's still waiting for the other one to come along, the other wave. And some of them will sort of be in between here. Some will come out the side. Up here. Really work that in. And then I'm going to take the little bit of white and just put a few little marks on the top. And then just do that. It gives you that very subtle hint to the wave at the back. Work it lightly in there to give some, you've got a few other little marks in as well. Just one little bit. I'm not going to put any other, just those little, just a hint so that there's something in the background. And then we're going to be working in the front. Now, let's start putting some of the shadow color in here. And I'm going to be using some blue. And let's have a look. We see, because it's rolling. And you also have the wave underneath this one here. Don't put it all as a solid line. Little pieces in between here. It's foaming, it's rolling like mad. And then you got this little piece of shadow color coming along here as well. Then I'm going to take a little touch of this purple and just put a few little touches in there. Give you some bit of the darker shadows. And also little touches of green in as well, because you've got some of the sea coming through, so we have little touches of the top here, a few little touches. You got quite a bit on this side, especially here we got a bit of the splash here. There's a bit of quite a bit of that green sort of coming through at the top here. A bit of shadow across here. You have two types of splashes, so I'm moving that out this way, sort of upwards across here, and here's also some nice shadow area in here. I think it can be a bit darker in here, so let's start putting some of the darker color in where they have that other dark green. it is. Let's put some of that dark green in here. I'll put a little touch of brown into it. And you get that touch of brown into this area here. Go over the body. Careful, I'm going to very lightly move that up a little bit. I don't want to get rid of this translucent wave here. Because what's going to happen is you've got that nice translucent wave, and this is going to be black. So you have that lovely contrast coming in this particular area here. So let's take some of that color and bring it out this area as well. With a darker brown, just darkens it up nicely. And also underneath here now we need to add some darker areas. Put some brown. I'm going to start putting some purple in it as well. There's some of the violet color. Okay, nice shadows coming through for that one there. So just half join these together. So you, oops, put some in here. Work that lightly into there. So you've got that nice little mix of the foam coming up. A touch of purple in here too, underneath this one. And I'm going to put a little touch in here. But not much, just, and then I'm going to work it in. Let's put that down. We're going purple all over the place, okay? Here's some nice, nice shadow areas here. The top end there, we need that nice dark there. I'm just going to darken this piece up a bit. Some purple, a little bit of brown, dark brown into it. Give some, so slowly we're sort of moving up now and getting the basics done. Figure I'm going to do last. Okay, so let's now just wipe my hands, get rid of all that. I'm going to come now with the white and start building up. Any questions so far? Everybody happy? All happy, painting along? Good. Right, now I'm going to start with this area across here. Now we have this coming from the back. I'm going to go over that little, my little marker lines here so they don't show up. And I'm going to touch and very softly move into that area. So I've got little touches of foam into there. Bring it across. And there's a little bit on this side. Coming. And we have this one. Let's do this top one here. I'll come in with a pencil and add some of the real finer little shadows in there. But now we also have some of this foam sort of coming out. So very lightly, I'm just going to touch that. Some places really give it a bit of an accent. Here we also have some of that, some of the using that flat sort of touch and go. So we start getting some of that spray movement coming in, with a bit of a spray coming off this end here. A little bit coming here. Some down the bottom end. We're going to, it's white at the moment, but we're going to soften it and get it into the shadow. Here we have quite a bit of the spray going up there. So we still have a bit of shadow inside here. So let's touch some areas, smooth it out, and we got little touches of green showing through. So I'm just going to touch some of these areas. He's a little bit more in the shadow, so let's get rid of that into there. Gently just work these shadow areas in. And let's have a look. It's still quite darker. Okay, if one is not starting Malin, starting out using a grey tone paper, should one put a grey pastel on the page before starting the painting? No, it's not really necessary, because you can come along and with the colors that I've done here, put those on and then work it into the white paper until the white disappears, or any other color that you've got. I've just got this very light grey paper at this stage that I'm using it up, and you can use any color. You could have actually come here with even with a black paper and gone over and put these over and put this on. So it's put it this way. It's hard to say, right, which color paper. Sometimes you need it to complement the background. We will let some of the paper shine through. If you're doing a lot of trees, for argument's sake, an orange paper or a red paper will come through, because then you can allow some of the complementary colors to shine through. I've just chosen. I could have just as well have used a white paper. So it's not serious. It boils down to personal preference. I hope that answers. Have a look. Come back and tidy up later. Let's put a few more little areas inside here where there's pieces shining through. Especially down the bottom here, you've got quite a bit of the foam. So let's okay. Just clean my finger and just tapping that in, so I'm not losing it. Just softening the edges. I'm tapping it in. So it gives you those with shadow areas. If necessary, you can give it a slight rub, not too much, just to come in And with a pencil, we can come in and work in the fine little pieces. I just want to get this. I don't have a halo around his arm and down here and across here. But we're slowly building that up. Okay, so we still got some little touches of. I'm just using the flat, sort of touching. Very light rub into there, gives you that nice work feeling here on the water. You've got some others coming across here as well. Just give some of that movement. Very lightly touch that. There, just that very light foam that you see inside there. There's still some coming up in here. Okay, I'm going to add a lighter, like an orangey color. I'm going to put here on this edge. I'm choosing my own colors here, just brightening up a bit. That will disappear in there. And now I'm going to take a darker purple. Where's this purple here? Actually, I'm going to take a touch of black. And really give it that nice and contrast inside. Just a few little touches. Here's my Q-tip. And let's work that in. When I come here, I'm going to make it darker, because here you still get reflection from the water come underneath. And here I'm going to make it, you don't see that in the photograph, but you use your experience, bring that up so it's all darker in this area here. It disappears. So let's carefully touch that. That will disappear here. So I'm going to just put a little touch of light here. Clean. Just a little bit of a reflection. And then it can be a little bit more. Very lightly, just to, so that the things are not always just plain flat. You're also reflecting some of this underneath. So let's put another piece here. Very lightly, just there's better. That's better. So we have that. So you've got that grading coming right across. And then let's put a few little highlights on these places across here. Gives you that foam, and this part here will disappear. It's also got a slight greeny tinge into it underneath here as well. That's underneath in the shadow. Little touch of the green. I just actually use this darker green. Touches of green in here as well. And some green here. Work upwards like that to give you that real energy of the foam coming. Put a few streaks in there. A little bit more down here in the shadow area. Work upwards, we'll tighten that up later on. Shadow in here. Slowly build up the tonal ranges. The shadow, these are the ones that give you the energy of the water really streaming out this way. This side here is going to be fuzzed in. It's really there in the shadows coming in. So let's darken this piece a little bit here. It's sort of half mixing in with the spray of the water coming up here. Okay. A few little shadow marks in the water. Don't forget to let some of it go out because of the movement of the wave. Because the wave coming out, it does this turn. It's coming out this way. You can see that turn across here. So you've got that upward. We need to follow that upward movement. Take some of that from behind there. Another one going out there, but just very lightly. Just do it very lightly. Get a bit of a halo there, so I'm going to take that out. Okay, now let's go and work on this wave here. It's windy. What happens when the wave falls over this way? The spray on the top gets left behind, so that it works out that way. It falls this way, but the spray is going that side. So I'm going to lightly just sort of soften some of those edges to get that nice spray coming out here. Soften it out. And then a few little lighter lines inside. Some softer spray here. Just running this over very softly. Getting the different formations inside. Got that spray. And then we have some of these little ones down the bottom too. When it tends to curl over. Some of it here is catching some of the light. Soft in that area here. It's starting to go into shade, so we need these a little bit coming in. This edge here will also have some. I need to get. It's not a 100% sharp line. Very softly in there. The shadow area. I think let's come and start blocking in the figure so that things will start taking shape. And it's basic in the silhouette, so if we come through to that other picture, that's it. We got that one there now, so let's start adding some of that in. Now the head, I need sort of like a slightly orangey color. For the head, we're not going to put any detail in it. Let's see. It's got these dark hair as well. Got that. Let's say here we got we'll add shadows in, we'll tone it down, and we need to just get that the basic in, and then it's got an arm here. Do that the big easy with a little pencil, but it doesn't matter. Let's put that in. And he's got his hand out in that area. So he's got a nice dark red top of his wetsuit. I've got now a rustic brown. So let's see. Oh, I think that's a nice color. So let's put that in here. My hand may be in the road at the moment yet. I just need to be careful here on the edges. Okay, some of that black is actually going up there, and some of the red is here. Okay, now I need the black stick. Let's start putting in this other part of the tunic here. So we're going to actually see a little bit here. The top, and his arm is going to come across this end with a real soft black, this one. Ooh, really, the dust is really falling off this. I have to come in with a black pencil and modify this, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and give it a bit of a shake to get rid of that dust. Let me just take this off here. Give it a bang here. There we go. Otherwise we have all that black dust falling down in here. Now I've got a black pencil. One of my pencils. Right, now let's come along, and I'm going to, ooh, look at my fingers. Let's give that a bit of a clean. Otherwise we get black all over the place. But one thing with this, you have to be reasonably tidy, otherwise you get smudging all over. All right, let's get the black pencil now. And let's have a look. Good, nice edging there, where his arm comes in. Part of his arm. Some shadow here. Very lightly. And work in this. Edge that off. Needs a bit of a waist here as well. This thigh. Give it a bit of a rounding because of the shape of the leg. Edge that one off. And he's got dark hair, so let's add that in. Much easier with a pencil than with that big stick. And he's got some hair sticking out the top. You can see that he's been working in the water. Edge of the suit. And then actually we got some of that color coming in here as well. And it's part of his sleeve. And then This part is in the shade, so I need to show that this is his left arm coming out from behind. So I'm going to shadow this a little bit. This one will be shadowed a little bit. Where's that Q-tip? Actually, there. And you got some shadow here. Very lightly I'm going over that. That area there. And here. Carefully along the edge. Okay. Some of the black has gone into this area, so let's see if I can smooth that out. Have to get that out with a little touch of green. We disguise that, we put a bit of green in here. Take a bit of green out on that side. Make it as part of the water. There we go. So that doesn't look so obvious now. This will also have some upward movement because it's going to roll over this way. The faces also be quite a bit in shadow, so I'm going to take some of this and just smooth that in, darken it a bit. Need some shadow underneath here. Get some darker color, a darker brown. You'll take a brown pencil and just put a little just a hint of a face there, that's all, nothing much more than that. put the hand a little bit more obvious. The hand is coming down here. The highlight here. Ooh, a little bit too much there. Let's make a bit of white. A bit too enthusiastic. Tone that down. Add some here. Some little pieces still fly off.